So guys, welcome back to Rathlin Island. It is still day 2 of early spring, and typically I try to work it out so each episode is basically covering a game day or a couple game days. But as we were doing some field work, we got a notification that we have a great demand on wool. So let's take a look at that price there. We've got just under $5,000 per 1,000 liters of wool, and it just so happens that we would happen to have 6 whole pallets of wool. So I thought, what the hey, let's go ahead and take this wool over to the wool shop, if you will. We also have gone ahead and, just to catch you up to speed real quick, we have gone ahead and gotten all of our fields fertilized. See, all of our fields are now fertilized. It didn't take too terrible long. I think we finished around I don't know, 3 in the afternoon with our fertilizing, and we even went and picked up our cultivator. So we're going to cultivate with this this Stara cultivator because this is going to give us the plow bonus. And I have to say, this may be the first Stara implement here in Northern Ireland area, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and use it anyway. So let's jump on in our Toyota here and head on down to the ferry. See if we can't catch the late afternoon ferry. We've also got an order in with the dealer down at the down over on the mainland with a couple pallets of potatoes. We've talked to some locals, and they've told us about how many potatoes they think is going to it's going to take to plant these fields. And well, we went ahead and put an order in for 4 crates of seeding potatoes. So they're already down at the shop. I think our potato planter is also down there, but we're not going to need that for a little bit of time, given that we still have such cool ground temperatures of just 32 degrees. I'm going to pause here for a brief moment. There we go. I noticed our in-game audio may have been a little low, so I thought I'd just bump it up a little bit. I have to say, when I bought this trailer, I thought it was like the other Flegel trailers in the Flegel pack, in that it had a little extension that came out the back that would allow me to basically put these extra 2 pallets on the back. But lo and behold, this trailer actually doesn't have an extension as much as it has a ramp. So I did my best job in trying to get those things on. Looks a little odd, but they seem fairly stable. So I had no idea that that by the second day of spring, our sheep would be paying us about just under $60,000 worth of wool here. I figured we would hold on to the wool until we had ourselves a fairly decent great demand price, or just a really good price, and you know, if we needed to rent a truck with a maybe a trailer, kind of like the flatbed that we used to haul bales with. But you know, second day of spring, we're working over by the BGA at I think it was field 19, and we get a notification that the woolery is interested in knowing if we happen to have any wool, because they've got a big need. Apparently there's a big demand as of late for textiles. So I'll be right back with you once we get across the river here. All right, so we're pulling on into the dock, and after I said it, I realized I called that a river. It's more of a I don't know if it's more of a bay or a sound or what would be the proper nautical term. And when you look at the PDA, I don't know if it's really a bay. The way I think of a bay is that a bay is one-ended and has an opening, but this more or less is if you look at the PDA, there's an in and an out both at the north and the south. So what the proper term for that would be, I'm not really sure, but I'm sure somebody out there does. And I think well, I don't really remember where the wool is sold, but I think it's right up here, right around the corner. Let's see. I think we go this way. Oh. And I think it's around here somewhere. Oh, here it is, right here. Looks like we need to back her on in there. On up a little bit. And let's see, it should be just under $60,000. Uh-oh, got it a little bit too tight. There we are. Alright, so 3,800 plus whatever we end up getting off of this. So we kind of pull it out of the cell zone. That's why our money was down to 90-some thousand, because we bought a potato planter. We actually bought our wheat planter also, and then our cultivator, which was on sale, so we went ahead and picked that up. It would be really nice if we could get $60,000 every day or two during spring. That would be a nice payday for our sheep. There we are, $55,000 plus the 3,800, or 55,800 plus the 38, so you're right under $60,000 for that work. Now, of course, we invested way more than $60,000 into our sheep, but we also have 620 sheep now. So another potential revenue source is going to be when the sheep stop producing wool at the end of summer, to look at maybe selling the sheep that we have managed to accumulate, over 600 since the start of spring, and maybe see if we can't get some additional revenue that way from the sheep. Alright, so here we are. Got ourselves our potatoes, and we're going to go ahead and go on in here to the shop and see if maybe we can't get somebody to help us load those up. Just talk to the lady here at the table. Hey, I was wondering, is there any way we could get somebody to help us load those crates of potatoes up? Alright, we just got ourselves a nice refreshing drink, and she said that someone was actually right on it. Gonna get right to it, and oh wow, they've already got her loaded up and ready to go. That's pretty cool. But yeah, here's our seeder that we're going to use to put our wheat in the ground. Nice Amazon. I think it's a 4-meter seeder. Nothing super sophisticated. And then we've got our potato planter here. Let's go ahead and head on back across the island, or across the... oh, I'm going to get it wrong every time, I think. Let's head on back across... I'll call it a sound for now until somebody can correct me in the comments, which I am sure everyone will do. We'll just head back across the sound, or whatever that body of water is officially called. Then we'll have to figure out where we're going to store these potatoes for the next little bit. I don't think they're going to be that prone to moisture. So I don't know if we need to really keep them undercover or not, but we'll probably just keep them on the trailer here for the next at least until till tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon. It's getting toward evening, so I don't think we're going to bother with our cultivating tonight. I think we're going to kind of head to bed early and see if we can't get up at the crack of dawn tomorrow and get started with our cultivating. So with that, guys, I think I'll just see you tomorrow. So we've been hard at work here, cultivating field 25 since early morning, and it is now early afternoon. I've been using Courseplay for the better part of this morning here on this field, mostly because I wanted to try out a really cool new feature. That basically has it's set to basically recognize islands and work around them. So this particular field has two little islands, the little one here to the left and a bigger one here to the right. And I wanted to see how Courseplay would basically deal with that. And I have to say, I think it's done a great job. Let me show you the course that it made. So you can see we started over here, and it actually has us finishing over here, and we did 3 headlands, and it followed the course of the field fairly well. And then interestingly enough, it came over here and then went around this little island a few times and did a bunch of up and backs, then went around the back, did a bunch of up and backs. And then from here, it went over here and just started doing these up and backs. And it didn't do a circle around this island. It didn't identify this island as well. It did leave a little bit of space, so I had to circle this one a few times manually. But I think that's pretty awesome the way it worked. And with that, we're just going to stop this and close this course out, because I'm just going to take over here. Now I'm going to kind of cheat and use GPS, but we're just going to take over here and just take care of this kind of manually. And this morning we also brought up, you can't see it because it's over there hidden in the building, but we also brought over our Amazon seeder, and well, that was a fun lesson. Because I discovered that the seeder which I bought, which is a 4-meter seeder, well, it's not. It would not fit in the ferry. So we kind of had to do a real interesting job, basically bringing it over, barely hanging on the ferry. So lesson learned. Rathlin Island cannot take a 4-meter wide implement across the ferry. I have learned that lesson, and I have learned it well. This particular cultivator, I think, was like 3.4 meters At least that's what the store says, and it came across just fine. So probably 3.5 meters or less will work for the ferry. Anything wider than that, and it will not work. Which is good to know, because when it comes harvest time, I was thinking about one of these two harvesters, and I was thinking about a header. Well, if I can't get a this header definitely would not work on the harvester. This one would. I'm not going to do corn. So if I brought this header over 6 meters, this way is no way is this going to make it across without a header trailer. We're definitely going to need to invest in a header trailer to get that bad boy across the sound, or whatever we want to call that body of water. So that was a fun little lesson. I also went to bring over the potato planter, and I went ahead and put some potatoes in it while I was over there at the store, and discovered that the potato planter is, well, it's just a little bit too heavy for the T6 that we had over there. Even with the front weights, it was too heavy on the back. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to bring it over here with the T7. If not, we may have to invest in a larger tractor just for the purpose of the potato planting. This cultivator has been doing a bang-up good job, because it also gives the plow bonus. So you can see here that we are a little bit of edges here that it missed when it was doing the outside course. You can see that we are now got the plow bonus here, and we're going to go ahead and cultivate up field 5 and field 4. Probably not today, but well, we will do it today as soon as we get this field done. But what I meant to say is probably not on camera. That work will probably be done off camera, and then we'll come back at some point. Well, when it's time to seed, I guess. So we'll see how long it takes for us to get to our 41-degree ground temp. Temperatures are coming up. We're at 34 degrees. Just yesterday we were at 32 degrees. Again, that's not very promising to get to 41 too terrible quick. We've got 43 now. We've got 50 degrees tomorrow. 47 on Saturday. 57, a nice warm 57. So if we're not up to 41 degrees by Saturday or Monday, then that's going to be something. We have all of spring to get our wheat in the ground and our potatoes in the ground. For some reason, we don't get 41 degrees by the end of spring. Well, we're going to have to kind of figure something out, because if we're not at 41 degrees by spring, we won't be at 50 degrees by the end of early summer either. So hopefully the temperatures kind of kick into high gear, because we only have 6 more game days of planting season, and thankfully we only have 3 fields to plant this year. Next game year we may invest in a couple more fields and work on those, and basically get them expand our operations a little bit. But for this year, we're only going to have 3 arable fields. I think. Let's get rid of that. I think if we do expand our operations, we might pick up field. Oh, I don't know. 6 and 8, maybe, because I think we might be expanding into cattle next year also. We'll just have to see how it goes. You know, cattle seem to make the most sense to expand, because well, they have similar needs to sheep in that pretty much grass and hay, and well, we have our wheat, so we've got straw, and that'll pretty much do what you need to do for your cows. Well, I have to say, I have fallen in love with this map a second time, and I really rejuvenated my affection for this map when I was going around doing the spraying on the fields. And it all has to do with the fields, the way the fields are laid out, and the way the fields just flow. Let's look at this field over here, field 5, the way it flows. I mean, it kind of goes around this this inlet a little bit, where the water and the rock cliff is, right there. And like field 19 is kind of got a big chunk out of it based on that rock down there where the roads. And field 20's got a couple islands of its own, really developed by a rock ledge that seems to have come up over the you know, up out of the ground right there in the middle of the grass grass field. And there's not a square. I mean, look at 13. 13 looks awesome. I might buy 13 just because it has bunches of little rocks all over the place. I might take my my Toyota up there one day and just check out field 13 and see what it looks like. Oh, sorry about that. Just because it looks pretty darn cool. And like I said, you know, there's not a square field on this map. Field 4 is the closest to being square, and that is right up my alley. That's just what I like to do. Square cookie cutter fields, just a little ho-hum, in my opinion, which is kind of interesting as to why I liked Midtown so much. Because Midtown's got a lot of square, punched-out fields. Because it's basically based on a you know, on the previous Giants map, and I guess Giants are known for cookie cutters. But, go ahead and get this little edge here, and we'll double back. We'll just work up and down on this section. So guys, have you played Rathlin? Let me know if you played it. I know I'm coming to the map a little late, comparative to other folks, but that's really because I was tied up with Midtown when Rathlin came out, and was also wanting to finish up our 24-day seasons play on Churn Farms. But now when I say tied up, I don't really mean like, you know, in a negative connotation. I just like to really focus on one series when I'm doing a play series. Simply because it helps me keep track of where we are, what we're doing, and everything. I find that if I've got multiple play series going on, I can really kind of lose track as to where we need to be, where are we going, you know, what is the main goal or our mission. So, there's folks out there that'll do a different map every day, so they'll have 5 concurrent series running. But for me, that seems like the progress on any one series is pretty slow, and it's kind of difficult to do a lot of off-camera work because you've got to keep, you know, the 5 different maps running, 5 different possible areas and stages. And, you know, we definitely wouldn't want to end up with 3 or 4 different series all at the same general phase of the seasons. You don't want all your maps being in harvest season or something like that. So, and then to some degree, I think I felt that putting out 3 videos on Midtown and then 2 videos on Churn on the weekends was a bit much to keep up with. So, kind of back down to just 3 videos a week of the play series, 2 map videos a week if there's a decent map out there to do a video on, and that'll give you the weekends free to do whatever. I think what we're going to do is maybe a little bit of a time lapse here as we finish out this field, and then we'll close out the video. So if you don't want to watch the time lapse, this is when to cut the video, because that's all we're going to do. We're going to have a little time lapse. I'm going to close out, and I'll see y'all next time. So guys, I just noticed something. This there's a little patch of let's go take a look at that. There's a little stone wall here that is kind of cropped up between the little hedge here between these two fields, as if this used to have itself a wall, but either the wall's been taken down or it's just been lost to time. It's a pretty cool touch there. Just thought I'd mention that. Just saw it while we were here, kind of relaxing in our time lapse mode. So I want to thank you for watching the video. If you liked the video, please click the like button. As I said, we're going to be get our GPS back in. We're going to be finishing up our cultivation on field 5 and 4. We're going to be doing those off camera. No reason to waste time or spend time showing the cultivation of 2 more fields. And when we come back, we will hopefully be in a seeding phase where we will be putting seed in the ground. We'll probably be putting potatoes in either field 5 here or field 4. Simply because we've already done some field work on this field, and I'd like to profile some of the other fields in the video. So when we come back, this field will either already be in wheat, or we'll just do this field in wheat at a later time. I know that potatoes and wheat both require 41 degrees, so it'll be good to be able to put either one of those in. We'll probably be using this T7, unless for some reason this thing is underweight for the potato harvester, and then if not, we might have to step up to a T9 or something with a little bit more junk in the front trunk, so to speak, because that was the problem with the T6. It just did not have enough weight in the front, even with the full weight pack, to counteract the trailed 3-point hitch on the back. So with that, guys, till next time, happy farming.